Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over broadening formations, pretty much like a brief overview, mainly going to be speaking on how to draw them and stuff like that. I've been getting a lot of people asking me how to do it. So this is going to be a quick little guide on how to do so. Now, broadening formations, to keep simply, is just support and resistance for Strat users. One thing, and it's also a universal truth. So one of the things that I love of broadening formations compared to like support and resistance or supply and demand is that I don't have to redraw them. Like I literally just have my yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hours on the chart. And then I only have to check the chart. I usually check it like once or twice a week to see if any new 3 candles have printed. And if need be, I just connect my previous ones to the new ones, or to the new 3s. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get to it. Let me just find a, perfect. I'll just do it on this. Actually, let me just draw it on YM because I haven't done it on that yet. So as a general rule of thumb, there's 2 ways to draw your BFs. You can either go from the right to left or left to right. For me personally, I draw my BFs, the higher time frames, from left to right. So the yearly, quarterly, and the monthly, I do left to right. The weekly, daily, and 4 hour, I do right to left. Don't ask why. That's just how I do it. So let's say starting at the weekly, or sorry, the yearly, and also draw all of them. So what I usually do is I'll look for 3 candles. Now they don't only have to be on 3 candles. That's just how I was taught. So that's how I do it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna connect the previous low from before the 3 was created. Usually I would just skip this and I'll just draw it here. And then the next one for this 3, I'll draw it from here to here. Usually you can connect the 3 when it prints to the next one, but if it's too steep, then usually I'll just kind of just leave it alone. And then I can draw another one from here to here. And then check the highs there to there. It's also important that you label your broadening formations because what you don't want is to have a bunch of unnamed lines and you don't know which is which. So if you use TradingView, definitely look into the object tree where you can just quickly name everything. And after you're done naming them, there's a cool feature on TradingView right up here, this folder. And now I can just put them all in here. Whoops. And then just lock it so they don't move. And now if I want to just turn them all of them off, boom, easy. Also, when you group them, you can change their like how they look, the visual. So if the dotted line works best for you, you can do that. I used to have the line. I'm gonna switch all of them to the dashed because the line is a little more intrusive visually. You can also change the colors. Some people like to color their different BF lines to know which they are. For me personally, I just keep them all the same. I just keep them all the same color. It just works for me. Makes it a lot simpler for me to visually see on my chart. So that's how I keep them.
Would you have all of them turned on when you're looking at a certain time frame, or do you just have the ones that you drew for that time frame?
No, I have all of them up. I have all of them visible every time I'm trading something. So for example, on Apple, that's so weird. There might be a glitch with the new version of um TradingView.
Are they not showing up?
No, they got out of my folder because right now they're just all like hidden and they should be visible.
Oh, interesting.
Let me just go to Pfizer. Pfizer should have them. I only really have them on these two. Let's go to ES. ES should have all of them in the folders properly. There we go. Yeah, like I have my yearlies now that yearlies are back out. That's so weird. Must be a glitch in the new version. Anyway, so looking at this is kind of scary.
Yeah.
So, you can just change them a little bit, make them a little more visually appealing. Anyway, for the sake of the combo, so when you're trading intraday and you zoom in, they're a lot less intrusive. So if I'm trading on the 15-minute, I can see, all right, there's a BF here, 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 and there. Now you can quickly just, if you have the object tree open, it'll show you on the right which one it is. But usually I have this closed and then I'll just double click. All right, 4 hour, 4 hour, cool. So now I know these are 4 hours. Or the same thing here, you know, just double click on them quickly to see what they are. And,
And
this is just the way I do it. You can do it however works best for you.
and I'm assuming the higher time frame broadening formations have more not more impact, but like sort of when you're taking a trade, if you see one that's like on a yearly broadening formation, you're like definitely that one is, I don't know how to say it, like
Yeah,
holds
so
more impact.
exactly. So the higher the broadening formation, the stronger it is. Like for me, I don't really care to draw a BF on a 5-minute chart because it's gonna break like a twig. Like it's not gonna be that strong. You can draw it if you want to. I personally don't really care for it. I only do the yearly all the way down to the 4 hour. It's my personal preference. Um, so something to keep in mind of. So going back to drawing them, let's go. So for example, what I mentioned earlier is that if this three and then another low prints, I'm not really gonna bother doing something like this personally. It's it's way too steep. I'll probably just do something like this and just keep it there. And maybe something like this. But usually I'll just do it like this. That way, get some rejection here. And then on the flip side, can do that like that. Also, really quickly, for those who may have used Thinkorswim, you can extend your line to the left. And then as you can see, this BF here is respecting these bounces there. And then there, these rejections. I don't really care to have the line extended left, but just a feature so you guys know.
I have a question about the broadening formation you just drew right there.
Yep,
So if that's the 3 candle.
yep, right
If
here.
we're gonna connect the bottom to the previous low, wouldn't that be there's a 2, 1, 2, 2, that 2?
This one right here, or this,
No, not even. Down, down,
this.
down. Yeah, that isn't that the previous low? Or yeah, the previous low?
I usually, um, I usually just go to the previous one for the most
Oh,
part.
so it means the previous candle?
Yeah,
I thought it meant the previous low, like how do I explain
from
it?
3, right? So yeah, you can also draw it here and then connect that there.
Okay.
In this case, I would just do it from the 1 or the 2 here. But this is also valid. So you can have all 3 of these like this if you wanted. Because it is expanding the range from this one to that one. So yeah, in that case, you can definitely draw from here to there. I usually do it like this as well.
Okay.
And like, for example, like you just mentioned, from this low to this low.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
From here to here. Now, this is what I mean, like from starting right to left, because if I was going left to right, I'm like, all right, here's the low and then the 3, and then I'll do it there. But if I'm go right to left, I do it like that.
Okay.
So pretty straightforward. One thing to note though if we have something like, well, I just showed you guys, but let's say something like this, and we don't have anything over here to connect it to, I would just use the previous one and just keep them like that. And then once either a new low or a new high prints, let's go forward real quick. I would connect it to the new one. In this case, it is a little steep, but I'll allow that.
And do you have to have two candles? You couldn't just do, because you just did like two extra ones. Do you have to do that, or is the first just one?
Like these two right here.
You just connected, like you had one drawn on the top, one drawn on the bottom, then you added
Yeah,
another
so
one on the top and another on
then
the
I
bottom.
added one from this three to this three, and then this three to that three.
Oh, okay, because there's two three candles. Okay, got it.
Yep. And even if this wasn't a three, if this was just a two with a lower low from this one, I would connect them as well. Like, let me see if I can find an example. Let's say like this three right here, for example. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just connect this one to that one right there. But before this two printed, I would have connected this one to the three. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if there is no candle that's printed yet that's low or high from the three that just printed, I would just use the previous one. In this case, that one is kind of is like super angled, so I'll probably just go back to this two and just keep that like that. Now, when it comes to like some people asked me how far should you draw the broadening formations? The 12, the yearly, the quarterly, and the monthly, I pretty much just do from the inception of time. So I literally go to when the stock was created, or at least whatever shows up on the chart, and I'll start there. So I'm like, all right, cool. There to there. Then this three I can connect to this two. And then I'll just pretend if nothing existed here, I also connect that to that. And then this to there. You could do even this high to there. Yeah, you could do that one there. This high to this high. And then it perfectly bounces off here. And then these two perfectly bounces off and rejects right here. And then death. But yeah, yearly, quarterly, monthly from the beginning of time. The weekly, I usually go back anywhere from 5 years minimum. I would go back. Just keep in mind, it might take you a while, which is fine. You just make sure you have all of them. The daily, I usually go back anywhere between 2 to 3 years minimum, and the 4 hour, I do 4 years minimum. And then I just have them all labeled out. So all the way from, I'll probably do like, 2 to 4 years for the 4 hour. They have mentioned that you need to draw them all, but it depends how long you want to be here for. So if you want to be from 2013, which is not that bad, you can draw all the 4 hour ones here.
I don't know
Also,
why there's not a system that just automatically creates the broadening formations for you. That would be so nice.
it definitely would.
Yeah,
I
very
mentioned at
nice.
the beginning, once you draw them, you're pretty much good. You don't have to worry about anything else.
That's if
Like,
you drew them right, though.
yeah, there's that. But this is just practicing. Like the more you practice, the easier it is to draw and the faster you are. Because for me, like I could probably knock this out in about an hour, hour and a half. But if I was just starting, I'd be like, should I connect that to there or this to that?
Yeah.
So, it'll be easier. Well, my Apple one's not good for whatever reason. Yeah, it'll be much easier and faster as you continue practicing them. Like Apple, I may be missing some. Gotta double check. Now this should be correct for now. Yeah, for Apple, it took me about an hour and a half to draw all of these, which wasn't too bad. But yeah, also something to note, 3 candles are just broadening formations on a lower time frame. So for example, on this 4-hour BF right here, can I turn this border off? Perfect. So right here, what is this? December 16th. Let's try on the 1-hour. So on the 1-hour, this is the 4-hour BF that we had in the area. And as we can see here, we have the expansion of the range, and it's kind of trading in between these levels. And then it finally broke through it. You go on the 30-minute, similar concept. It's in this formation area. All that making sense? That threes are barring formations on lower time frames?
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, make sure to draw all your broader formations, because I do get people sometimes messaging me like, oh, hey, I got in here, then I got stopped out, or I got faked out, or like, I went long, but then, it reversed. And I'm like, well, did you draw your BF? Nope, they didn't. And then
Um,
where did it reject off for them? A daily or weekly BF. So they should have known not to go long there until they got a proper signal.
I have a question here. So when it broke that broadening formation, it went below, right?
Yep.
Here, like a lot of them are now below. What do you do in that case? Because I don't think, do you just draw another one
Well,
to,
this is a 30-minute time frame.
oh, that's 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, so if it did have all my 4-hour BFs on, this is probably a BF bounce from another time frame. But for some reason, I'm gonna have to just put them all back in their groups.
Okay, so basically it's still within another, like a higher time frame broadening
Yeah,
formation.
more than likely this is a BF on another time frame that it's bouncing off
Okay.
of. Which one? I'm not sure because they all got out of my group.
Okay.
Let's try ES. Whoops. And so for example, let's just go on the 1-hour for this case. We were trading above these BFs here, these two, like kind of in this range. It broke under them, and now it's in between these two BFs. Remember, broad information is support and resistance for strat users. So this used to be a support, now it's a resistance. Then we come down, it can't hold. They try to bring it above the resistance, or what used to be support, reject it off. Now it's just in between these two, kind of just chopping around in this area. They get a bounce, breakthrough. They can't make it back up to the other one. They kill it back down. They try one more time. Rest in peace, 2-2 down. And then bring it under this BF. Then we get a 2-1 rejection off the BF. You take the 2-1-2 down, and your next target will be down here. And right now it's just rejecting off this fib level that I drew.
Are those the 4-hour broadening formations?
This one is this is the 4-hour and the 4-hour. So right now, the price is trading in between these two 4-hour BFs. And when it rejects one level, the ultimate target is going to be the next BF, which is down here. So as we can see here, we get the 2-1. I guess this is kind of a shooter. You get the 2-1 shooter, actionable signal. You take the trade down, boom. And if we go all the way back, there's probably some targets down here based on the strat. But we hit one target there. And then if you trade with fibs or whatever it may be, you can aim for that. But we get the 2-1-2 down. We're going to be aiming for the bottom of this. So tomorrow, we're either going to get a continuation to retest this to see if we break it, or we're going to get a failed trade and just keep on dying down. So if we don't continue moving up and retest this and break it, my next target for ES is going to be 38.17 area. Let me know if all that's making sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else have any questions? You can come off mute. You can type in the chat, whatever works.
No, I'm just paying attention, man. I don't got no question right now.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For this, it was pretty straightforward. Like I mentioned before. Of course, any questions, always just message me on Discord, whatever need be, or on the comments in this video when I put it up later on YouTube. One last thing, for those who do use either TradingView or Thinkorswim, on TradingView, there's an issue sometimes where your broadening formations would move. Like, for example, let's see if I can show you here. Let's say like this weekly, for example, this is not connected to none of these candles. But if I go on the weekly, it'll be perfectly connected to whatever 3 is here. So I'm not sure why it does that. It's probably just a glitch or just like, I guess the way they have it set up, the coding. For the most accurate broadening formations, Thinkorswim is the way to go. The BFs don't move, they stay put. As far as I know, there aren't any issues with them coming out of your folders or, whatever studies you have on Thinkorswim with your BFs. Other than that, yeah, like this one here, it's like all the way up here. But I'm sure it's probably over here somewhere. Anyway, that's basically it. Thank you guys all for coming out.